Casual Colts Podcast. Casual Colts Podcast. Casual Colts Podcast. All right. I think we're ready to go. Let's do this. Hey everybody, this is William Ricks, the host of the Casual Colts Podcast, and for the first time, I know, see my face, see what I look like. So yeah, I think this episode is going to be just a little bit different. I want to give you guys a background on me, the host. So you guys have been listening to me for the last 2-3 episodes. You guys don't know too much about me. So I want to give you a background on me, how I became a Colts fan, some of my favorite Colts players of all time, what I'm looking forward to this season. Then I'm also going to talk about what I do outside the podcast because I just don't do this. I have other things that I do. So I'm excited to let you guys know more about me, myself, the host, and yeah, let's get right into it. So the first question is, when did I become a Colts fan? And that's actually a good question. It happened in 2005, and around that time, I was starting to get into football. I was starting to watch it more. I was starting to really understand the ins and outs, the X and O's of the game. And my father was a Jets fan. My brother was a Steelers fan. So I was looking for a team of my own that I could root for and be like, yeah, that's my team. And Peyton Manning was the talk of the NFL around that time. And I was just a huge fan of his. I loved his attention to detail. I loved the way he commanded the offense and commanded the team overall. And not to mention, he was such a skilled passer from his accuracy. Oh, man, I could go on and on. But that's really what solidified me as a Colts fan, along with Dwight Freeney, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, all those cats. That team was very complete. I really loved the culture that Indy showed also. So that's really what drew me into being a Colts fan. And then what really put the stamp on my loyalty to the Colts was them winning the 2006-2007 Super Bowl. And the story behind that was one of my friends, I believe I was in 3rd grade at the time. I think it was 3rd grade. He bet me a week's worth of lunch that the Colts wouldn't win against the Bears that year. And I was like, all right, you know what? You're on. I'll bet you a week's worth of lunch that the Colts are going to win. And sure enough, they did. And I got my week's worth of lunch. And it's been all fine and dandy since. There have been some ups and downs being a Colts fan. But that's any fan of any sports team, you know. But yeah, that's how I became a Colts fan. And since 2005, so roughly 16 years, I've been a Colts fan. I bleed blue, die hard Colts, you know. So what's my favorite Colts memory? I just mentioned the last part. It has to be the Super Bowl. It has to be. And I remember watching that game, and I remember Devin Hester returning the opening kickoff and thinking, we're about to lose already. He just returned the opening kickoff. Like, I thought we were done for after that. But you know how history went about. We won the game. But what makes that my favorite Colts memory is how we won that game. And you remember that those Colts teams back in the day, they're very pass heavy, and they ran the ball, but it wasn't something they really wanted to do primarily. In that game, they had to run the ball, and they had to play smash mouth football, and they had to rely on their defense to win. And that's something you rarely saw from a Colts team of that era, and them being able to do that on the biggest stage just shows that they were able to sacrifice, especially Peyton Manning, because Peyton Manning was arguably the best quarterback in the league, throwing passes left and right. So him being able to take that sacrifice and rely on the run game to get them that victory, I think that's what makes it one of my favorite Colts memories, because it just showed how the team was ready to sacrifice in order to win the big game on the biggest stage. So yeah, that Super Bowl was definitely one that's going to stick in my mind forever. I'm wearing the shirt. You see it? Yeah, you know, so yeah, Super Bowl, yeah, that was a great one. Yeah. My top 5 Colts players of all time. Peyton Manning, obviously, number one for me. Peyton Manning. Dwight Freeney. I was a former defensive lineman, so Dwight Freeney, his spin move is iconic. Nobody has done it better than him. No, I don't think nobody will ever do it better than him. Who else? Reggie Wayne. Some people would have Marvin Harrison, but I was a huge Reggie Wayne fan. I liked him better than Marvin just because of his consistency and just, I don't know, his even keel demeanor. That's something that I really appreciated. Marvin was even keel too, but Reggie just had, I don't know, that low key swag to him that I really banged with. I don't know. It's a personal list. It's a personal list. 4 is Darius Leonard. I know he's only been in the league for only a short amount of time, but his impact on the Colts defense has been, you can't explain it. He's changed their identity into becoming a smash mouth physical team, and that itself just makes me a huge fan of his. Plus, I'm a defensive guy. So, and number 5 is Andrew Luck. And Andrew Luck, I believe he's one of the biggest what ifs at quarterback in NFL history, because actually, every time I talk about Andrew Luck, I get kind of angry. It's not at him, at Ryan Grigson, but I'm gonna save that for the next part. I'm gonna save it for the next part. But yeah, those are my top 5 Colts of all time: Peyton Manning, Dwight Freeney, Reggie Wayne, Darius Leonard, and Andrew Luck. Whew, my worst Colts memory definitely has to be when Andrew Luck retired. I'm not talking about him retiring. I'm talking about the fan reaction to him retiring. It was in the preseason game against the Bears, and the Colts fans had the audacity to boo him off the field in the game. That really didn't sit right with me. Just given that Andrew Luck put his life literally on the line for our organization because he was battling through injuries. He was such a nice guy. He was a great quarterback, great passer, great thrower. So him being booed off the field in that fashion, I was disappointed in Colts fans that did it. I believe he deserves more appreciation, more respect from the Colts community, and I believe he's gotten that since then. But just in that moment, it was a bad look for Colts fans. I'm just going to be really honest. He didn't deserve that. He did everything he could for our organization, and the Colts fans really wanted to be mad in that situation. They should have been mad at General Manager Ryan Grigson, who was a GM before Chris Ballard, because he failed at getting Andrew Luck a proper line or any kind of supporting cast around him. So really, if Colts fans want to be angry about Andrew Luck retiring, they need to go find Ryan Grigson and talk to him. I don't like Ryan Grigson. I don't like him because he didn't do enough for Andrew Luck. And if he did, Andrew Luck probably still would be playing right now. So that's definitely a Colts memory that is hard to swallow, just given that what could have been for Andrew Luck's career, and then also how the Colts fans treated him in that moment. Like I said, he deserved way better than that. And yeah, I was disappointed to be a Colts fan in that moment because they just disrespected him, in my opinion. So yeah, that's a tough Colts memory for me to have. Yeah. So who are my favorite current Colts right now? Well, I already named one, Darius Leonard. I love his passion. I love his intensity. I love the way he covers sideline to sideline. I just love the way he just comes to the game with energy, and like the love for the game he has just oozes out of him. Excuse me. And he's just a dog on the field. That, you can't say anything more than that. He's just a dog on the field. Second person, I would definitely say Marlon Mack, and I'm really a huge fan of Marlon Mack. I really like his balanced running attack. I like the way he's even keel, and I like the way he's just under the radar. But he's a powerful runner. He has power and speed, actually. And I really hope he comes back from this Achilles injury 100% or close to it, because if he can do that, he's going to be a dominant force in the Colts backfield. We already have Jonathan Taylor. We already have Nyheim Hines. So imagine Marlon Mack can get back to his 2019 self. Woo! That's a 3-headed monster in the Colts backfield. Defensively, very scary. Another player that I like that's a current Colt is Quentin Nelson. And me being a former offensive lineman, Quentin Nelson always gets me excited when I watch him play. His intelligence, his athleticism, his grit, his ability to just throw you on your butt and just look at you. Man, every time I see him picking somebody, I just get excited because that reminds me of me when I was playing. Yes, I was a good football player, but that's not the point. But yeah, Quentin Nelson, just pick him up, put him down. I love it. I love it. And he changed the identity of the Colts O-line, and the Colts have a anchor at the guard position for arguably the next decade. You could say that. And the fourth player that I like that's a current Colt is DeForest Buckner. And going back to my roots as an offensive and defensive lineman, DeForest Buckner's technical application, being a defensive lineman, is spot on. Like, he's a beast. I believe that he's going to be a great mentor to Kwity Paye that we got number 21st in this past draft. And I think that with him and Pay as the two anchors of the D-line, the Colts are going to finally get some pass rush pressure on the opposing quarterbacks that we've been lacking. So yes, I am definitely excited about DeForest Buckner. And those are my 1, 2, 3, 4 favorite current Colts. So the three things that I'm looking forward to for this Colts season, one of them is definitely Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz, I've been hard on him since his awful 2020 season with the Philadelphia Eagles. But he has a familiar face and friendly one in Frank Reich, and I believe that that can be the difference for him in Indianapolis. I really believe that he has a line to protect him. He has a defense. He has a running back group to rely on. So I think he has all the pieces there to really be successful. T.Y. Hilton is a veteran receiver. He can be able to give him some kind of consistency there. So, like I said, there's no excuse for Wentz to have a bad season in Indy this year. I think for him, the biggest thing is not to be a hero and stay healthy. If he cannot play hero ball and stay on the field, I think the Colts can go as far as they take him. And I have really high expectations for him because he's with his old offensive coordinator and he has so many weapons at his disposal. So I'm looking forward to see how he turns out in 2021. The second thing that I'm looking forward to is Marlon Mack's return. And I mentioned how that Achilles injury was really tough on him in 2020, and he's had almost a year to come back from it. So I'm really excited to see if he can get back to his 2019 self, where he was a top 10 back in both yards rushing and rushing touchdowns. If he can do that, along with Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines, as I said before, that Colts running back group is going to be dominant, and defenses should be petrified if any of them are on the field, because they've all proven that they can run between the tackles and be valuable options in the passing game. It's scary if Marlon Mack comes back 100%. And the last thing that I'm looking forward to this season is the defense. And the defense has been awesome since they got Darius Leonard. And last season, they really put everything together, becoming officially a top 10 unit. What I'm really looking forward to is if their pass defense can be more consistent down the stretch, because that's really what killed us last year. And I really want to see if the corners, Xavier Rhodes, Kenny Moore, and Rock Ya-Sin, who got picked on a lot, I want to see if they can really tighten up and lock down the receivers that we're going to be going against this season. I think our front seven is already solid. We do need another linebacker to go with Darius Leonard, but I believe that we've been grooming EJ Speed so he can be able to take over that. So I'm really excited about how our defense is looking and what we can do in 2021. And those are the three things that I'm looking forward to as a Colts fan for this season. So outside of the Casual Colts podcast, I'm actually a sports writer, and I've been doing sports writing for roughly 4 years, a little bit more than 4 years. And during that time, I've covered the NBA, NFL, WNBA, tennis, NASCAR, MLB, NHL, Black sports history, you name it, I've probably reported on it during that time. And I currently write for fansided.com. You can check out all my content that I write for them on fansided.com, or just search William E. Ricks on Google, and my Fansided link should be one of the first 5 links that pop up. I write about a bunch of stuff, and I just dropped an article about Marlon Mack Colts fans might be interested in. Let's go check it out. Outside of that, I am a photographer, and I have my own photography business called Shots by Squill, and my editing style is called Modern Nostalgia. And what Modern Nostalgia is I give the photos a vintage feel, but I also keep the vibrancy of the colors that are within the photo to give it a pop, a vibrancy. Yeah, so you can check out my Instagram where I post most of my photos. It's at Shots by Squill. Check it out, follow, like some pictures if you like it, and I'll appreciate it. What I also do is I also make videos. I'm kind of doing that more as like a hobby, spare time. And I make a bunch of videos from just scenic walks in the park to documentary interview films. You can also check out my YouTube page, Shots by Squill, to see more of my video content as well. Lastly, I'm a beat maker. I've been producing beats for roughly a month now, so I'm just starting out. But I love music. I've always wanted to get into beats, and I think this is something that I can do just to give my mind a break from all the sports and stuff, allow myself to get more creative. And I've used some beats in my podcast I used some beats that I made in my podcast, so I'm interested to see if you guys realized it. But yeah, I'm really excited about that, and that's something that I really think I can take to the next level with a little bit more practice and time. Yeah, but I do a lot. I enjoy all of it, surprisingly, and yeah, I like to say I'm a creative person. I'm a creative. I do a lot of creative activities. So those are all the creative activities I do. Feel free to support and check out all of them. And I'll make sure that I leave a link to all my stuff in the description below. Well, all right, everybody. That's going to wrap up this special show of the Casual Colts podcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in and just getting to know me, the host, a little bit more. I felt like this was overdue. I feel like you guys should know, you guys should, one, see the host of the show, and two, know a little bit about the host, what made them a fan, some of the things they do. I just want you guys to know the man behind the mic, So I'm glad you guys were able to take time just to get to know me. And I would love to get to know more about you, my listeners, also. So if you have any topics, questions, comments, smack talk, just want to say hi, or just want to talk about football, make sure to contact us by email at casualcoltspodcast@gmail.com. And you can also follow us on Twitter at casualcoltspod. We're going to be getting a Facebook and an Instagram in the near future, so I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on that. And once again, thank you guys for tuning in, getting to know me. I would love to know more about you guys in the near future. And you know what I'm going to say. Keep it casual and go Colts. Catch you later, guys.